Now on this episode of the Novice Cook Food Channel, we are going to be completing our chicken and sauce recipe. Now, if you watch any of my previous videos, you'll see this process that how I got this chicken to this marinade stage and how we clean our chicken. These ingredients are going to be very simple, very delicious, and it'll blow your mind. Simple. We got some tomato paste. We're gonna use these cloves and these peppers. We got a jalapeno and a habanero pepper. I've got some thyme and some parsley. And what I'm gonna do is tie those together with this string here and add just a little bit more lime juice when I get my meat inside the stove. We're gonna put some Crisco vegetable oil in the pan before we get this meat in the Dutch oven, and we'll be ready to get this bad boy rolling. Now at this point, we're going to remember, we're going to use a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and we're going to use these cloves. We're going to stick them inside of our pepper. The reason Haitian people do this is that way we don't lose the cloves in the food. If you've ever bitten down on a clove, you know how disgusting they taste. And we're going to use this string. It's usually the string that people use when they're tying up the ends of a turkey. I have this left over. I buy this whole thing. So I use it when I'm cooking my regular dishes throughout the year because, I mean, most of the time you only use it on Thanksgiving. But it's very handy in the kitchen. And these onions and bell pepper will be used as our final product garnish once we've gotten our chicken ready to be dished with the sauce. Now I'm going to add these cloves to these peppers, and then we're going to start the easy cooking process. I like these cloves. I like to use my Dutch oven because I mean, it's so versatile. You know, I can use it with everything. You know, anything that I'm making, I always use my Dutch oven. It hasn't failed me yet. And remember, we're not adding any water to this. Sometimes, you know, especially when you're learning, you know, you'll get a lot of people who have their own techniques. But this is one of my aunt's techniques, and you know, her food always comes out so flavorful and delicious. So I called her one day, you know, when I was younger, and I said, how come your food is always so flavorful? And she said, well, here's my secret. Now I'm sharing it with y'all. So don't be stingy with your secrets with me, okay? Let's make sure everybody knows each other's secrets. We're friends here. We're family. We eat together. We stay together. We pray together. So you get your pieces of meat here at the top. And remember, I got this is not frying, okay? I got my oil at the bottom just so my meat doesn't stick, but it is not frying. Take my smaller pieces of meat here, add them to the top. And then these little pieces here, add them to the top. Add that right there. And then we're gonna take this leftover Epis sauce. I'm gonna add it to it. Now you gotta remember, this meat is gonna sweat and it's gonna make its own juices. At this point, we're gonna add our habanero and our bell pepper and excuse me, my jalapeno and my habanero pepper. We're just gonna tuck them in here, different spots. And then we're gonna take our parsley, which is tied with our thyme. I'm gonna add it here. And this is the part where we add a little bit of lime juice. Now, I usually use this kind of lime juice that's already in this kind of canister. I like to use the fresh lime juice when I'm actually cooking, cleaning the meat, but I like to use this lime juice because it's fresh squeezed, it's real lime juice. I just use it in place in my little drawer here, and I pull out my 1 teaspoon. Take 1 teaspoon of lime juice, And I take it around here. Just to add a little bit more acid to it. And just make sure you don't lose anything in your pot, and you leave those big pieces at the bottom there. Now at this point, our meat has cooked down for 45 minutes. I'm gonna take out my parsley. I'm going to take out my, I gotta move this gently because I don't want it to squeeze out. Take out my, my pepper. This is going to be so good. Our tomato paste has been kind of simmering on the stove, and we don't want this to burn, so we take this, some of our gravy here. I'm only taking half of it so I can get this properly, you know, blended down. Get it thinned up a little bit. Like I said, I got my rice. This is how my meat comes out without having to actually use all that grease and extra fat. And it browns perfectly. And we're gonna take this meat and put it back in our pan, and we will do our final garnishing, and our chicken and sauce is done. Just gonna kind of move it around and get everything kind of coated in a little bit of the sauce that we have. And remember, the sauce is really simple, but you have it on the bottom here. It's a little gravy. Some people, you can always add a little bit of water if you want it to be a little bit more. Matter of fact, I may add just a little bit of water just to have it sit, you know, halfway through the chicken. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, the pièce de résistance. I got a little rice, got my chicken over a bed of rice. Watch my next videos, and that rice recipe will be coming up. It's some baby lima beans and a couple of my special ingredients that make it oh so delicious. Thank you for watching, and subscribe.